Okay, welcome to the Entrepreneur's Mindset Podcast. I'm Gedaliah Blum, and I am with Nathalie Garson, my esteemed co-host and business coach, and just amazing person. I'm so happy to be able to be in this space with her.
Hi,
It's a school.
Gedalia. Hi,
It's a school
hi.
that's a right. So listen, today, Nathalie, I am going to interview you because there's something that you're really passionate about, apparently. You discuss this a lot on different videos that you put out on social media, and you write about it and you speak about it with your clients. And that is the big question is we're talking about purpose, right?
Exactly.
What exactly is purpose? It sounds like some, put your head in the clouds and maybe go off into a cave and be a monk and do a meditation. What exactly is purpose, and why are you talking about it as a business coach?
Okay, well, I'm so happy that you're asking this question, Gedalia. And first of all, I wanted to thank you for giving me this opportunity to co-host this podcast with you. And I'm also very excited, of this podcast where we're going to be able to exchange so many great ideas for entrepreneurs. But I'm so happy that you're asking this question because it took me a long time to understand why purpose was so important for me. And so I get it. I get that you're asking the question like, do I have to be a monk in a cave or something to look for my purpose? Well, that's what I love, bringing purpose with business, because the good news, we have a good news and a bad news. The good news is that everyone has a purpose and everyone has a reason why they're here. The less good news, let's say, is that not everyone is connected to it and not everyone has a direct connection to their purpose. And so what happens is that some people have this need and this search that they want to know why they're here and why they're on earth, what's their mission, why they're here. Now, what I did for myself, which is why now I'm offering it to the people I work with, is that I put two and two together. And I said, if I have a mission and if I have a purpose on earth, then being an entrepreneur is the best way to be able to express this mission and this purpose. So that's why I'm so excited about that. And that's why I love talking about purpose and sharing it with everyone, because I think that this is the real drive to be successful.
So you chain together purpose and entrepreneurship, and for you as a business coach, that could be obvious to you, right? Because you think that you see business owners who have a passion, whatever it is, and they want to do something, and they're aligned with their passion. And now they have to figure out how they want to make money doing it, and you speak to people in these positions, so you see it all the time.
Right.
Now this may be a very cynical outlook, but I once got advice from somebody. And you could guess what he does for a living after I tell you what he said. He said, no matter what you do, make sure that you're getting paid the most amount of money to do it, because at the end of the day, you're going to hate your job.
Ooh, whoa. Yeah. Okay.
So this person was a lawyer he was a corporate.
Okay.
He was a corporate attorney. But what is important with what he said is that I make enough money to do what I want out of work. So does somebody need to have purpose integrated into business, into their livelihood, into the entrepreneurship? Like why is that so important?
Okay, well, that's a great question. Again, thank you so much for asking that, because I know that a lot of people have this outlook in life where we cannot enjoy what we do for a living. Work means hard. Work means I have to do something that I don't like, because if I get paid to do something, then it means that it needs to be difficult for me. And what's difficult for me? Something that I don't like. And so I justify the money that I'm making because it's so difficult. And if I am sitting in an office from 9 to 5 or from 7 to 7, and I'm doing things that I don't like, then I deserve, quote unquote, to be paid at the end of the month. Now, this is a commonly accepted version of what work is or what work should be, because people need to survive. Okay, we all need to survive. I did that for many years. I was in a corporate job and I was doing my job. I can say that I hated it, but I can't say that I loved it either. And it took me time because it's a process. And so in some ways I want to answer to you that I think that this process is it's needed, because you need to have that kind of job in order to give yourself the time to grow into the person that you want to become. Because we don't know who we are when we're 20, 25, even 30, or, the life happens. And so we need to go study something, go get a job. And for the people that need to, then this is their process. But other people are more connected. Other people have this little voice inside of them, or have this intuition, or have this connection, people that they meet, books that they read, movies that they watch, and they say all of a sudden, wait, this is resonating. This is something that I'm enjoying doing. And then they're connected. So just like you can say some people are connected to themselves and some people are not, well, it's the same for what you're going to do as your job. So I'm guessing that this lawyer is making a lot of money. The only question I have for him is, when do you have the time to enjoy your life?
Well,
Because
that's a question, especially being a corporate attorney. But let me ask you something. It's, what I'm getting from this is that you don't need to have purpose. And maybe I'm making an assumption. You don't need to have purpose to be a successful business person, but you need purpose in order to be a successful person.
Okay, so that's a very good distinction. Let me put it this way. If purpose is important for you, if this is a question that you have and you can't make it up, okay? I went through what I call my purpose crisis, and I couldn't sleep at night, okay? I couldn't fall asleep. I would wake up, that would be the first thing that I would think about. I would read all the books about it. So when you have what I call a purpose crisis, you know it. You can't, it's like, this is something you can't avoid. So if you are a person that is interested by understanding what is your purpose, and this is a question that is going through your mind, then you're not going to be able to be successful if you're not discovering it, and if you're not working in it, and if you're not doing something with it. That's for sure. But if you are a person that is fine and says, I don't need my purpose, I'm just like this lawyer, I just need to make money and enjoy life, then I personally think that it's going to happen later in life. But that's my personal assumption. I would love to see him, when he's going to be getting older and looking back at his life and say, okay, what did I accomplish? And now, sorry.
What about would you even say about in the short term, that if somebody doesn't have a purpose in their career, in their professional life, that it's going to affect their performance?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I mean,
but again, you have, I'm going to say something. I'm going to compare it to, being in love and not being in love. Okay. It's like, some people will say, if you want to get married, you need to find the right match. But it doesn't have to be about love. It just has to be about technical, match. And some other people will say, I could never be with a person that I don't love. Okay. So right. You can't force it upon a person. Some people are going to be connected to that. But the truth is that we have many dimensions. We have the dimension of us as a human being, the dimension of us working, the dimension of us being a parent, the dimension of us being a partner, and finding our purpose is the best way to use all our dimensions 100%. And it's the best way to find the common denominator, what I call the transversal theme, that is going to help us be the best version of ourselves in everything we do. So I definitely believe that if you want to be successful in all the sense of the world, not only money successful, then finding your purpose is the best way, for sure.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting, because I think, most of our listeners here are English speaking, English speakers in Israel.
Right.
And so there's probably some people that you could talk to that live in the middle of nowhere in Americaville or whatever, talking about purpose, and they just might not connect or understand there's a frequency out there in the world that somebody needs to connect to. They might know in theory, oh yeah, there's a purpose somewhere, I need to find it. But would you say that people who come here from the West and move into the Middle East, into this space, that they would come here and they have a purpose? They understand it might not be a business purpose, but there is a purpose. And do you see that working with businesses and trying to understand their purpose, that it's much easier relating this business purpose to somebody who has come here on Aliyah, has come here as an immigrant.
Okay,
For
so
the greater.
I'll say that. I work with people outside of Israel. Okay, I have a global business, and I have people, clients that I work with that are in Europe, that are in America. Just yesterday, I had an amazing phone call with someone from Dallas, Texas. Okay, he read my emails. He loved what I write on my website, and he got. So, he's been a very successful entrepreneur, but he knows that something is missing. So what I'm going to answer to that is that I don't think it's a geographical, dimension. I don't think it's about being in Israel or in Dallas, Texas. I think it's about the journey that you have with yourself, the internal journey of when you get to a point where you say, what is the purpose of all this? Whether it's because you made so much money and you don't know what to do with it, or whether it's because you can't find your path and you feel like all the doors are closing. So to answer your questions about Israel, I think that there is a natural purpose that happens here in Israel, what I call an organic purpose, because this country, and we're not going to go into that because then we could go, speak forever, but this country was born out of a purpose. This country was born out of a dream. And the energy that we have here that we can feel, and I agree with you so much, that we feel the energy of people that have an ideal, people that want to build something and that are all here with the same goal. And that is powerful energy. And believe me, people from outside of Israel, people I work with, they're very aware of that. And actually, I think that one of the reasons they want to work with me is because I'm in Israel. Because
for sure.
They're aware of this energy. And so to go back to your question, which is amazing to put together like Aliyah and purpose, because coming to Israel or deciding to leave everything behind and saying that we're going to come to a new country and we know how difficult the job, the kids, the school, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is only because you're driven by purpose. And you know what? Right. To make the comparison with having a business, it's only when you're connecting yourself to the end goal, which is, I know that if I come to Israel, I'm going to have a better life, not only as a material life, but also a spiritual life, and also a more aligned life with my Jewish identity. Then I'm okay to go through all the difficult phases in my aliyah in order to get to that goal. Well, being an entrepreneur is the same thing. If I connect to my vision, to my end goal, to the impact that I want to bring to the world, to the contribution that I want to bring, then I'm going to be okay not making money right away. I'm going to be okay having phases where I feel alone and it's difficult. And so my secret sauce, what I call the born to do, is working, because when you connect to your purpose, you have the drive and the strength to go through difficult moments. That's it. That's the magic recipe. And that's why that's why being connected to your purpose helps you be successful. Not because it's, flowers and sky and blue and, everything is happy and nice, but because you're connected to something you want to get at the end. And so every time it's going to be difficult, you're going to remember, what you want to get. And so you're going to continue working towards that goal. I hope that answered your question.
Now, earlier in the conversation, that was great. Earlier in the conversation, you mentioned that when you had your purpose, what did you call it?
Purpose crisis.
Your crisis.
Yeah.
Earlier in the conversation, when you said that you had your purpose crisis, you said that you weren't sleeping at night. So for our listeners who don't understand what their purpose is and is now listening to somebody who is expert in drawing other people's purposes out and actualizing them in real life, it seems like it's not so easy, is it?
No.
How do you do it? How exactly do you find your purpose?
Well, it's like a 3 months process with me. So it's going to be difficult for me to, summarize it, but I will do it for you because I think that people need to understand two things. The first thing is it's not easy. It's a process. It's long. It's an introspection process that you have to go in a journey inside of yourself to understand and to rediscover who you are. Believe it or not, we live with ourselves. We should know who we are, but we don't. We get up in the morning, we do what we're supposed to do, whatever, task or course that we have to do, but we don't really know who we are inside. So the first thing that we need to know is that it's going to be, just like you said, difficult. It's going to be a challenge, it's going to be a process, and it's going to take time. It's so funny to see how people say, oh yeah, my purpose, no problem, we'll just do one session and I'll, I'm sure I got it, and then I say okay, and then 2 months later we're still looking for it because it's not what they thought it was. Okay,
so it's interesting, it's interesting because when you're speaking about the purpose, at no point are we talking about business, and I think that's the point, correct? I mean, because the business of a person's business is the product of them finding their purpose, plus the drive that they have, like what specific channels that they want to actualize that purpose. For instance, somebody wants to help people, right? That's their purpose. They want to heal people. There's a number of different industries they could go into. They could become a doctor, they could become a psychologist, they could become a masseuse, all these different things, right? So it seems to me that once somebody's able to identify that they just want to help people for a living, right? And then afterwards, it probably does it become easier afterwards figuring out which industries or which products they want to sell or what service they want to provide? Does that become the easy part? Are you becoming like a deep diving psychologist for some of your business clients?
So first of all, Gedaliah, I'm very impressed because you just gave the best definition of how purpose and business are connected. Okay, and you did it. I saw how it was your intuition, and you think you were guessing, but you were not. You were right on spot. Okay, so I'm very impressed because
Thank you.
This is exactly what happens. What happens is like in your example, the healing process is basically the common denominator, the transversal theme that I was talking about before. Now, once you identify this common denominator, which is I'm here on earth to heal people, that's only the beginning, you can imagine, right? Now, this takes a long time to realize because people think that they know they want to help people, but they don't really know how, exactly like you said. Do I want to help their mind, their body, their soul? Do I want to help, their business? And so the common denominator is helping us focus, but not enough in order to turn it into, to monetize it or to turn it into a business. So I want to add something which is very important because we live in a time, for the people that are listening to us, we live in a time where so much is possible. So much is available to us in terms of knowledge, in terms of technology, in terms of channels. You can build a business online like this. I mean, it's not that easy, but you can. It's potentially possible. And so people that find they're born to do today and want to make a business out of it, it's not that difficult. I mean, it's not easy, but it's possible. And so that's why I feel that people that are coming to me, they're like, listen, if it's it used to be very difficult to make money outside of your 9-to-5 job, but now I can do something with this. So why not? This is my responsibility to do something with it. So just like you said, once I know that I want to heal people, then I need my niche. Then we start talking business. Then we start talking about the target market, the people that I want to help, the product, the offering, what is my added value, what is what I call my unique brilliance. Now, once you find the connection between your born to do and your unique brilliance, that's the winning formula. Then nothing can stop you. You can have all the competition in the world that you want. You're never going to stop because it's your purpose connected to what you know how to do. And people are going to feel that. They're going to be attracted to you. You're going to be in your element. You're going to talk about it for hours. You're going to do videos, write books, and you're going to be the expert. And so that's how you turn a born to do into a business, a working business.
So Nathalie, there's this sounds like this method of working with people is certainly not limited to anybody, essentially, because these are about, it seems to me, these are about life's mission. This is about a life mission. And as long as somebody has air in their lungs and blood in their veins, they should have a life's mission. They're here on this earth for a purpose, right? That's the key word. Right. So I want to end right here. There's a lot more that I do want to talk about, and we'll go ahead and continue in part 2. So if anybody wants to continue and listen on, please stay connected. Thank you, Nathalie, so much.
Thank you so much, Gedaliah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And we'll see you next time for part B, because we are fitting 3 months of conversation into 20 some odd minutes.
Right. Thank you, Gedaliah. It was a pleasure. Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.